right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So there was a report that came out from Charles Robison of Yahoo Sports regarding a potential Jets-Packers trade involving Aaron Rodgers, of course. Now, he dropped some really interesting, like this was an in-depth report. This wasn't just, hey, the Jets are in talks with Green Bay, talks are going well. This is like pretty detailed stuff. So I wanted to go over it. Did want to quickly say nobody else has confirmed this. I haven't seen anybody else report the same information. So let's take a look at it and let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. But the title of the article, sources, Packers and Jets discussing 2 high draft picks in an Aaron Rodgers trade, but stuck on 2024 protections. He said the trade is currently orbiting a deal that would swap Rodgers for 2 high draft picks, according to multiple sources who spoke with Yahoo Sports, with sources characterized a deal as getting closer, despite stiff negotiation over how those picks would stack up and whether the package would include a quote-unquote give-back protection for the Jets if Rodgers does not play beyond 2023. Okay, so for me, right off the bat, that's completely fair. I think it's fair for the Packers to ask, hey, you know what? We want at least 2 draft picks. And I also think it's fair for the Jets to say, okay, we're interested in that. But you know what? Rodgers might only play for a season. We heard it in his own words on the McAfee show just a month ago, a couple weeks ago. He was 90% retired going into the darkness. So that does not like bode confidence that Rodgers is going to be the Jets quarterback for 3-4 years. It's very, very real that he could only be here for 1 season. Let's move on. As it stands, talks are focused on the Jets dealing 2 picks for the Packers quarterback, 1 second-round pick in next month's draft and another second-rounder in 2024 that could graduate to a first-round pick with achievable team performance escalators. An example of such an escalator would be if the Jets were to host a home divisional playoff game or advance to the AFC Championship game. A sticking point in the talks is the Jets seeking an element of protection built into the trade, specifically one that sends some 2025 draft compensation to New York from Green Bay if Rodgers does not play in 2024 and beyond. It boils down to the Packers wanting a quote-unquote straight shot draft picks without qualifiers, while the Jets want such a high level of compensation to be based on 2023 team performance and Rodgers also playing for New York in 2024. Man, a ton to unpack here. Okay, a lot to unpack. So basically, what is it? The Jets would be getting Rodgers, and the Packers would be getting a second-round pick this year, whether it's their original pick, whether it's the pick that they acquired in the Elijah Moore trade with the Browns. They would also be getting a future second-round pick, future conditional second-round pick that could bump to a first, depending on how successful the team is in 2023. He mentioned hosting a home divisional game. In other words, winning the division, potentially making it to an AFC championship. Doesn't have the concrete what is the condition going to be, but he threw out some, potential ideas here. Both are completely understandable. And then finally, some sort of 2025 draft compensation if Rodgers doesn't play in 2024. So if Rodgers calls it quits after a season, obviously, because of how like the timeline is set up, we're probably not going to get an answer immediately, knowing Aaron Rodgers on if he wants to continue playing like after the season. So like, January, February, up until the draft, April. If that, extends beyond April, then we're looking at 2025. So I think I got to be honest with you, if we're just talking about the 2 picks, the second-round pick and a conditional second that gets bumped to a first, I think that if you're a Packer fan, you feel really good about it. But I think because of this extra 2025 protection, it's a 50-50 deal. It's a 50-50 deal in my opinion, because at the end of the day, you can't talk about an Aaron Rodgers trade, dealing him, acquiring him without putting some sort of, or really highlighting the chance of him retiring. It's just 39 years old, 90% retired a couple weeks ago. I would feel a little weird just sending all these, like, using NBA terms here, unprotected draft picks to Green Bay if you don't really know how long he's going to be with the team. I mean, it's just up in the air. And of course, with Aaron Rodgers, as we all know, he's always in the gray area. He could change his mind. He's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like he's not he doesn't give black and white answers all the time. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's him. But when we're talking about a team in the New York Jets, a team that's desperate here, you know, we kind of need to be a little cautious in regards to what we would give up. So I think a future second that could bump to a first. Sorry, I have a big truck out here backing up. Sorry about that. Basically what I was saying, the Jets would be giving up a future second that could bump to a first, but they could receive something in 2025. That detail wasn't specified. I don't know if it would be like a 3rd round pick, a 2nd round pick, or if it's just like a late round, like 4th, 5th. I doubt it though. Because I don't think it would be this big of a deal. I don't think that would be like the sticking point in his own words. I don't see Joe Douglas like dragging this whole thing out for like a 6th round pick years from now. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be like a 3rd or a 2nd, but that's just me assuming here. So man, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Absolutely crazy. Again, I have to be honest with you. I think I would be okay with that. I think I would be okay with it, right? When I just take my Jet hat off for a second, right? And I'm looking at it objectively, you know, would the Packers organization, would the Packers fan base, would the Jets organization, would the Jets fan base feel okay with this trade? I would assume the answer is yes, right? It is a lot to give up draft-wise for the Jets, but assuming the Jets would land that extra 2025 draft compensation, I think that's what makes it better, right? That's that insurance policy, if you will, on if Rodgers only sticks around for 1 season. So interesting stuff. Let me know your thoughts. I got to do more thinking about it. It's crazy that we finally have some concrete information regarding a potential trade. Again, assuming that this is true. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.